Welcome to After Dark Podcast. We are here with good friends of mine, Hen and The Cocks.
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much.
So I just hung out with you guys last weekend. We got pretty drunk, had some good conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't leave till like 4:30 in the morning.
Correct.
So.
Oh, I left.
Start the next
I
day.
Irish goodbyed.
I know.
Went to bed.
I noticed that. You just like walked away and was like, oh, she's probably just going to the bathroom. And like you just never came back.
Nope.
But we still had fun. It was good. And so if you just want to introduce everybody in the band, Joe. I know you're Joe.
I am Joe. Joe Hinkle. I am vocals. I am the front woman of Hen and The Cocks. I'm going to pass it to my left.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play bass.
And I am Blake. I play guitar.
I guess this means I have to pick up a microphone. I don't know if this is working, but I'm Trent, and I play drums.
That's
can hear
Trent.
you.
He plays drums.
All right. Well, just go ahead and introduce the first song, and let's let her rip.
Sounds good. This first song is called Astrovan.
I really hate all the traffic. Being so makes me spastic. Rolling off of the shoulders. Strategy makes me bolder. Get off of it to the open road. Get off of it, lighten up the load. Get off of it to the open road. Get off of it, lighten up the load. I don't wanna get, just wanna get out of here. I don't wanna get. Off-road and an accident. Off-road because we can. Off-road and an accident. I really like your attire. Red said something on fire. You're such an honest liar. Why don't you join the choir? Get off of it to the open road. Get off of it like nothing low. Get off of it to the open road. Get off of it like nothing low. I don't wanna get, just wanna get out of here. I don't wanna get down. Off-road and an accident. Off-road because we can. Off-road and an accident. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Off-road and an accident. Off-road because we can. Off-road and an accident. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Off-road and an accident. Off-road because we can. Off-road and an accident. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
Hell yeah.
That's
That
a
was
fun
great. Well, so, I feel like I remember one of you telling me when this band started. I think you guys started in like 2016, right?
one. Close.
Yeah.
Closer to 2014, actually.
2014. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the three of us started in
Okay.
2014 after we were all graduated from UNT.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, that's
So the
what that
three of
was
us
going to be.
graduated and we were like, yeah, we got our bachelors, so now we can start a band.
I'm the oddball. I did not graduate from UNT. In fact, I barely went to college. Stay out of college, kids. Don't get student loans.
PSA from Mr. Curtains.
Well, I guess what I was going to ask then is how the band started, because I don't think I know that story. And I know you just mentioned that you started after college, but so did you know each other while you were in college, or?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah, we me and Joe and Trent actually all knew each other from South Texas when we were in junior college together. And
Oh.
like I moved up here to transfer to UNT, and then like Joe moved up, and then Trent. It was all like unrelated. It was just for different reasons. And then we were like, oh well, we all knew each other. We're all friends. And then when like eventually we started jamming together and whatnot. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow. So I'm trying to think. So junior college, if you guys graduated in 2014, that must have been like 2010.
ish, yeah,
20
or
so you've known each
2009,
other
something like
for-
that. Yeah,
So you've
A
known
really
each
long
other
time
for
ago.
almost 15 years then.
yeah, a really long time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. So
Yeah.
did you guys play instruments whenever you first met each other, or?
Yeah, I played guitar and other instruments. I originally was up here as a music student, and Trent played drums, and we'd played together in jazz band and stuff before, and like other ensembles in junior college and whatnot. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
I was in the ceramics program, and I was also in the theater
I
program.
was gonna say and theater.
Yeah.
Cool.
Theater is more applicable to this situation, but it was all in the same building in junior college, so our paths crossed quite a bit.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
And then I snuck up behind him.
Yep. Yeah, we went through. So once we started the band in 2014, we went through a few bassists, and none of them really fit right until we found this bowl of porridge.
I started showing up to their shows and was like, I want to be in that band. And so I made it a point to make friends with them and sneak my way in, and I did. I didn't even actually play bass when I joined the band. I played guitar, but it was like, I'll play bass if that means I get to be in the band. And now I like playing bass way better than guitar.
And
Nice.
he's good at it.
Yeah, I didn't know
But he
that.
infiltrated our ranks.
So were you living up here already whenever they started the band then, or did you migrate a little bit later?
I moved up here about the time they were starting the band, but I didn't know them when they started the band. I was involved in the music scene elsewhere, and they were opening for one of my friends' bands, Mean Motor Scooter, long time ago at a place that is now a Home Depot parking lot. It was called The Cellar. But yeah, I saw them, and I still have one of their original burnt CDs with Trent's handwriting on it. That was a demo. Still in my
That was
car.
one of the chicken scratch ones because
Yeah,
we
that was
all
like-
took turns.
It looked like it was
Yeah.
by a third grader. And nothing has changed.
Yeah, we were
Still right like a third grader.
super DIY. Whenever we started our first EP, we printed out on a Blake got us a CD printer that would print like stickers.
Oh, like the faces,
Yeah.
like that you
Of the
put
CD.
over the. Okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Actually, it would print directly like
on the CD.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
so
it was like a
funny.
sticker that adhered to the top of the CD. Yeah.
Really. So
And
I've
then we got the cases for them, and we all like took a stack home and like wrote the track list on all of them.
That's
great.
so fun. I've actually done that before. I do not suggest it because there's so many CDs that I gave out to people that were like, "Yeah, this just doesn't play," and it was like,
no.
okay." So, but okay, cool. So you guys started the band, I guess, just a few years before I moved to Denton, because I actually moved to Denton for college in 2016. So, and I know that I'm, a little bit younger than you guys, so that kind of makes sense. But
Thanks.
Just kidding.
I'm not. Oh, now you're making me feel bad, dude.
Oh no!
You just called
I do
me
not
decrepit.
care.
1 foot in the grave is what he said.
I mean, I'm ready for the urn, so I just
So on
kidding.
that note, introduce your next song.
All right, this next song has nothing to do with drugs, actually, but the title is called Speed. It is actually, the lyrics are based on one of my favorite artists' artwork. Her name is Julie Speed. She's out in Marfa, and she's fantastic. So here is Speed.
Eyes wide as a desert skies. Material swims sought to hypnotize. Feelings in becomes one with the skin. On the surface first and absorbed by the thirst of a world unignored, the illusions and swords. We run seraphied from the three-eyed boars, sick-minded priests and run through beasts. On the surface first and absorbed by the thirst. Oh, but they know, and now it shows. But you never really wanted me to go. Now you know, and now it shows. That you never really wanted me to go. With the blood of a babe, inspired fluid, neurological rage. He raises a match like a key to the latch. On the surface first and absorbed by the thirst of a king reborn on the head's right of thorn. You can't imagine what I was like before. They all know the dream from the canvas to seam. On the surface first and absorbed by the thirst. Love! Now you know, now it shows. That you never really wanted me to go. And now you know, and now it shows. That you never really wanted me. It's my fire, one desire. And it's like fire, one desire. Oh, so now you know, and now it shows that you never really wanted me to grow. And now you know, and now it shows that you never really wanted me, never really wanted me, never really wanted me, never really wanted me, never really wanted me. No, 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 no.
All right. That was great.
Thank you.
So, speaking of artwork for the band, do you guys designate an artist to do your stuff, or do you do a little bit of? Oh,
Ryan.
I did. That surprised me. Okay.
Yeah, so I've done both of our album designs. Technically, one of our T-shirt designs, although it was just the album art from the first album. I've done several of our flyers and promotional stuff. So we do as much as we can in-house because as much as we love to support local artists, we also want to be able to pay them. And as a working band, there's not a lot of money involved, so we try to do as much as possible ourselves to keep costs down and stay self-funded. Plus, I like doing it. It's fun. It's something I used to do a lot more when I was younger, so it's good to get to put those skills to use in a collaborative environment like this.
Nice, nice. Now, something I noticed about your music that I really appreciate, just because I feel like not too many bands do this, just in general, is it seems like you have some kind of theme or concept while you're writing it. To some degree, I mean, I feel like maybe there's a few individual songs where it doesn't necessarily like fit like the theme of your album, but I mean, whenever it comes to writing style, is that something that you keep in mind, or has it just kind of happened that way? Because I've heard you guys talk about some cool stories behind some of the songs, and it just seems like there might be a little bit of cohesion between, the four of you, and whenever it comes to album time, So I was just curious about that.
That's a great question. So with Cult Babies, which is our most recent LP, the concept was kind of overall around just the really volatile time America was in, because Trump was in office, the pandemic had just hit, and we were all in lockdown. And that's actually where we wrote the album, was during lockdown. And then the album prior was called Human Parasite, and I actually came here to UNT to get my degree in conservation biology, and was made privy to a lot of the negative impacts that humans have on the planet and on the animals that live here. So that was kind of the concept of the first album that we had.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I do remember you telling me a little bit about that story. of the first album. So that's why I wanted to ask about that. So cool. Now, whenever it comes to your shows, you guys play a lot, and
Show last night.
yeah, and I noticed that whenever it comes to like organizing tours, that seems to be kind of difficult for you guys as a band, just because Trent, you're also in another band. Have you guys talked about maybe doing kind of a longer stint, maybe out of state somewhere or something?
Yeah, so we're working towards that. Again, being on the road is super costly.
Yeah.
And anytime you go out somewhere to like a city you've never played, it's a big risk because you are guaranteed to be losing money. So you have to be prepared to do that. So we are starting to book more like short jaunts. To go hit like a few cities within a short drive of each other and then come back and start kind of like spreading out from the Metroplex. So we've done runs through South Texas. We're getting up to Colorado in June. We've got some connections in El Paso, so we're talking about heading out there and then into New Mexico possibly on that run. We've got connections out in Louisiana, so starting to branch that way. But try and do a little more feasible short runs to start with and then start branching from there. But yeah, ideally, we'd love to go out for a couple of weeks and, hit an entire half the U.S. or something like that.
Yeah.
Who wants to sponsor our national tour?
Yes, we're poor. Please, give us money.
Who wants to sponsor our international tour? Hey.
Right.
We will hawk your product and say that we sponsor it. You're not ashamed.
Celsius energy drink.
I drink those a lot too. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, doing that as a band is really expensive, and you're right. You do have to be prepared to lose money because most of the time it takes like 5 years of doing it before you can start to see some kind of turnaround or some kind of improvement, because that's another problem is like if you hit a city once and you never go back there, you get forgotten about really quick. So it's good to try to hit the same spots, but that model, it's actually how record labels used to organize tours. If you were an up-and-coming band or they liked what you were doing, is they would kind of set up regional tours for you that were only, just a couple of weekend gigs, in cities, 2-3 hours away or something like that. And that's where the term, weekend warrior kind of came from as a working musician, because you were in like this weird area, stage where you were popular regionally, but you still weren't able to like live off of your music. So, well, I would definitely love to see you guys do some of that, because like I said, I've always loved your music. I love your live shows. I've been to a lot of your shows. So, what's this next song called? Why don't you introduce to the third one?
So this next song is called Disco Dystopia. Do you want to try the
Yeah, we'll do
dance?
this.
Let's do it.
So yeah, Joe and I like to do a little dance at the beginning on this one, so we'll see how this works out in this environment.
How long is your cable? Do you want to go out there? Okay.
Oh, wait.
All right. I'm gonna move this.
Hold on. Before you
rearrange the
start.
set.
Oh, we're good? Okay. Never mind. We're good. Cool.
Are we good?
Are we still good? Are you good? You're great.
Who's good? Might fall and bust my ass, but it's fine. I'm gonna do my best not to. Okay. I know, right?
Covers can't be found when you're not around. Feel the drugs go down in this noxious town. Poison in our veins, it drives us all insane. Sickness shows the use of the life we're forced to choose. Burn this city march until we rot. Dance until you die. Dance until you die. Dance until you die. Dance until you die. Hey! We always the soul. We always the soul. We always the soul. We always the soul. We can't take this anymore. 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 Burn this city down. Burn this city down. Dance until you die. Dance until you die. March until we rock, rock, rock. 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 The end.
That was really fun. I don't think I've ever heard that song, so that was great. So as you were playing, I wanted to ask, what are some of the punk bands that you think influenced this project the most, just between all four of you?
Did you say punk bands?
Yeah,
Specifically punk.
specifically punk.
Oh, I don't know that any of the four of us, surprisingly, are like huge punk fans. I think we all have.
Oh, really?
I mean, I grew up like listening and wanting to emulate Travis Barker, so that was like one of my favorite drummers of all times.
Yeah.
So of course Blink is, a little cliche to say, but I still love Blink 182, and I
I'll
still
take
love his
Blink.
drumming.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking of like legit like punk bands that.
I would say, if you have a hard time, let me take this one then, because
Yeah, Trent, go.
Dead Kennedys, of course, has always been one of my favorite bands, and
See, that's what I hear a lot in
yeah.
your music. I hear a lot of Dead Kennedys
We've
because the
gotten
Dead Kennedys experimented with other genres and
Yeah.
stuff too. A lot of people don't know that. but they
we've
did.
gotten that a lot between Joe's vocals and then, of course, my drumming. We've gotten a lot of DK just because, that's one of my favorite drum sounds.
Yeah, and who doesn't love Donkey Kong? No.
But yeah.
Cool. What about you, Blake? Any punk bands you were
Not
into?
really. Like I feel like really listened to a lot of the post-hardcore and like emo and screamo bands.
I hear
when
that
was
in your
younger.
guitar playing a little bit too.
I still remember in 2001 and Thursday's Full Collapse album came out, and just kind of like that raw, just like kind of, band from New Jersey playing in the basement sound, just kind of like the emo kids, and just all the like the melodic guitar parts and the really cool like chiming like interlocking guitars, and just kind of a mix of the heaviness and some of the faster like double time beats, but then just like kind of slowing it down too with a lot of all the other types of nuance going on. That was just like that made a big impression on me, and so yeah, just like a lot of stuff from that era, from like the early 2000s, was
That's
really
cool.
kind of what I spent
Yeah.
a lot of my time listening to.
Yeah, I'm really into a lot of that underground emo music from the late '90s, mid '90s, even
Yeah.
early 2000s. Like I actually just discovered a band last night called Braid. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I think so.
They're from Illinois, but their like most popular album, I think it was their third album, came out in like 95 or 96. But whenever you listen to it, like it's just so you could see why it was so influential in the emo movement because they have a lot of avant-garde guitar parts that just kind of like juxtapose. It's like juxtaposed to the melody that they're singing. Like it doesn't sound like it would fit, and it's very weird. But also they also have hooks to their songs at some parts. But a lot of their songs are very, similar to a lot of post-hardcore bands from that era, like the late 90s, where they don't have like set verse-chorus song structures. They kind of just have moving parts sometimes where they have, maybe a verse that sounds kind of familiar to the second verse, but it's different, like either slowed down or sped up, or like an added guitar part that just kind of changes the whole thing. Yeah. So and I really dig that in emo music specifically.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
super
Changing
cool.
up like kind of the texture and the layering of things by making subtle changes. That way you're not like you may not have two verses that sound the same.
Right.
You kind of keep the progression of the song moving forward a little bit. And I'm a big fan of that. I mean, I also like just your typical song structure too, and keeping it simple sometimes when necessary. But
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I know you guys have 2 albums out. Are you guys working on a third? Have you started writing songs and releasing them again?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Snail's pace. We've been super busy playing shows and working.
Keeping up with
just life
inflation.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first 2 albums did a good job of making sure things happened pretty organically. For both albums, we went on a weekend-long writing trip out to like a cabin somewhere and brought very stripped-down rigs and would just sit there all weekend long and play and come up with lots of pieces of material, and then we kind of started paring it down from there. So we've always done a good job of not forcing ourselves to write anything, but making sure that everything felt very natural. And so we want to kind of try and do the same thing this time around. Make sure that we're really feeling inspired to write when we do it, and we're not just going, okay, it's time, we need to get something out now.
Right.
Even though I'm starting to feel that itch because
Use that
Yeah.
inspiration. Feel it.
yeah, because it's been such a long time since we've been able to get together and write, and even outside of rehearsals, practices, getting together, it just takes some time.
Yeah.
We try not to force anything.
No.
Definitely does. So, well, on that note, let's hear the last song. What's this one called?
So this is the title track of our most recent LP. It is called Cult Babies, and it's just a little smattering of all of the awful shit that happened during the Trump administration, and especially in 2020 and 2021. And sort of a call to action, not sort of a call to action. It is a call to action to fucking rise up and do something about it so we don't let fascism take over. The song is called Cult Babies. Yep.
Look at all their eyes roll back, hands in the air at the attack. Worship him like kingdom come, his dumb fuck words beat like a drum. The sect of TRUMP. And all of his cult babies. Bringing all the garbage here, the verbiage coursing into to make you feel objectified, emotionless, roboticized. Stuck in tiger prison cell, you swear to give them hell. You see no light at the end of the tunnel. The only sight, all the cities that burn. Make no mistake, we are headed for trouble, but a happier life is what we all yearn for. Evil inside, unpacified, never ascribes to the way things are. Even though we tried, whoops, we all died in the video game of a world war. Corporations shackle you, monopolies are nothing new. Deniers cripple countries and it's past time to take us. Planes under Santa Claus and they sell you a mirage. Crazy decide, unpacified, cannot comply with the way things are. Don't we try? Maybe we will die in the video game of a world war. To be or not to be, that is the question. Echoing loud in your anxious mind. Unspattered walls and more fear to expression. You wonder if you will survive much longer. We are worth more. We are worth more. We are worth more. And they say control is looking under. There's a binary code operate avatars. There's essence here to ensure all of our freedom. But a militant coded formidable war. Coming into people's choice, dissonance cannot concur with sickness of the weakling from the lower class should be swear against all of the tyranny. And all of their own
All right. Thank you for watching After Dark from the Den.
Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. That was great.
Dean, I totally forgot about your wide note. Thanks.